What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today, everybody has been so excited about the addition of the new faction in the Sylvan Watchers, and so am I. It's really exciting to see a new faction. But my favorite champion out of the 14 that was released was actually from the Shadowkin, and he goes by the name of Michinaki, or Michinaki. You guys can bash me about my pronunciations. But in terms of aesthetics, he reminds me of Ghost Rider, and it's not just the aesthetics, his skill set to take down the Demon Lord, the Hydra boss, and just bosses in general, I think is remarkable. So what I have to do today is re-gear him 3 times for 3 different showcases. So this one will just be for damage dealing in like the faction wars, and then we'll go into the Demon Lord where I have to speed tune it, of course. And then, of course, towards the end of the video, I'll showcase him in a Hydra team so you can see his potential there. So, alright, you guys actually let me know, what was your favorite champion from the ones that was released earlier? If you did miss those, I did just post a video a few hours before recording this one. So on the A1 ability with Burning Bonds, can attack one enemy, has a 60% chance once booked of applying a HP burn debuff for 2 turns. Now, some of you guys may be thinking, how is this amazing? Let's wait for the second part of his kit. So on the Dire Hall, attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance of applying a 60% drop defense debuff for 2 turns, and also has a 100% chance of placing a decrease attack debuff for 2 turns if targets are under Hex. And the amazing thing about this is, this champion actually has Hex in his skill set, so you pretty much can get this out the most of the time, as long as it's up. Now on the double degeneracy, attacks all enemies 2 times, so that's great. The first hit removes all buffs from each target, which is outstanding for Hydra boss if your skills are kind of stolen, or should I say your buffs. And then the second hit places that Hex debuff for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So being able to place that Hex and remove all the buffs is outstanding, but also enables him to place that decrease attack where you need that in places like the Hydra. Or even in the Demon Lord if you're running a traditional skill set team. So, alright, here's where it all comes into play. This is why this champion is so good in my opinion. The Curser of Curses. Whenever an ally attacks an enemy under Hex debuff, this champion has a 50-50 chance to team up and join the ally's attack. Are you guys seeing this? Now, when you think about Demon Lord, if you can extend it with somebody like a Vizier Ovelis, if you're lucky enough to have him, Hex is never dropping off, right? Or if you're going in a specific 2-to-1 team and the Hex is always up, that can also be an option. But also for the Hydra boss. Now, if you just put Hex up, doesn't even have to be this champion. Let's just say that you've got a Mithrala Lifebane, for example. You have the Hex up because it doesn't have to be his. Every single time one of your allies takes an attack, because there's no cooldowns, he has that chance to go through and team up with them to place the HP burn. Now for Demon Lord, this is great for Warmaster procs if this is extended. But on the Hydra boss, allows you to put burns on all of the heads, granted you're hitting them in orders and stuff, or AoE attacks. This is remarkable, guys. Now, if you don't have the luxury of having an ally attack champion, this is literally the next best thing, and his A1 is something that's really crucial for Hydra. And now, when you talk about his whole kit now, HP burn, drop attack, drop defense, Hex of his own, removing all buffs from each target, and that self-ally attack. You guys tell me that this isn't a remarkable champion, and he's not even void, so hopefully we get some sort of guaranteed event for him, because this is actually a champion I would go for, honestly. And that's not me even over-exaggerating, like, I really like this dude. And that is not all. With his aura, has an ally defense in all battles by 30% to help coincide with him as he's based off defense, and also keep your champions under sustainability. So, alright, we'll actually go into the masteries first. This will be the same for the whole video. So if we just go here. So we've got the offense tree heading down to Warmaster, then the defensive tree heading down to Retribution and Deterrence. And in terms of skill sets, now this is one that I'm going to be using for, as I said, just for showcasing damage. And then I'm going to have to speed tune it, and then I'm going to have to put Relentless on. So I'll kind of do a little edit, I guess, of how I kind of set that up. But the Relentless one was super fast at 240 speed. The Clan Boss one was at 177, I believe. But I'll leave a link in the description of that full team in depth in the pinned comment below. And then this one, of course, just for damage. So to start things off, because we will be going into Faction Wars first, 48,000 HP, 4.8k defense. In terms of Savage, this was the best I could do at the moment with defensive stats. Then we got 180 speed, crit rate at 100%, 243% crit damage, and decent accuracy to place those debuffs. And we were just getting a blend of like crit rate, crit damage from all of our substats, with defense percent on the chest plate and the boots, and an accuracy banner. Crit damage and defense. So let's just take him into the campaign first. Let's showcase how those skills work. And then we will go into the Faction Wars, then the Demon Lord, and then the Hydra Boss. Alright. So this is his A1 ability animation. So a nice little slash with the sword. Let him get hit a little bit. Not too bad. So traditionally, you would open up with the A3 with a double degeneracy. So this is how this one looks. So boom, a nice little slash again. And then this is his A2. So boom, dropping down the chains, and that is a really nice scaling in terms of damage. So let's go into the Faction Wars now, and then we'll see how that is in full effect. We'll go into the Shadowkin Crypt, of course. Let's take it to stage 21, and I've stripped the gear of Hatatsu and my Genzin to make sure that our champion here can get some time to shine. So boom, anchor, boom. So there's the chains coming through. Drop defenses out, allowing our other champions to deal extra damage here. And boom, nice little slash. Go on, Genzin, take a few extra hits in there. So there's that burn going up from his A1 ability. Now this bit here is actually amazing because you know when all of the buffs go from all of the allies, when Man-Eater puts them up, he's actually able to strip that because he removes all buffs with his A3. Now here, we're going to get nuked, but it's alright. Oh, we got cleanse from Jing 1. Let's go. Can we get some burns out? Decrease accuracy, decrease attack. Boom, look at that. The animations are so good. We're not trying to freestyle here. Just want to see how much damage he does over time. Nice. Nice little burn going out. Sorry, Hatatsu. You had to take a bit of a hit there, but Taragi's got your back. Little cleanse. And the final hit, can we get it in? There we go. So 1 minute 28 seconds. Of course, not the best in the world, but in terms of damage, guys, if we just move myself out of the way, 656,000, outperforming everybody in the team. Of course, Genzin would have been more similar on damage, I would say. Right? But we've also got another AoE decreased defense champion for the Shadowkin Faction Wars, whereas Genzin was the only one before that, right? So I think that's remarkable, having another option in there for people trying to clear their Faction Wars. So alright, let's get into the juicy part. So we're going to bring up a run. And this was a team that I put together, and if you want to see the full in-depth guide on this team, description or pinned comment below where I did a full guide on this. And it's based off a 4-3 champion in Helicath, and the rest of the champions are extremely slow. I'll show you their gear straight after this run. But of course, in terms of our new champion in Michinaki, I can't really keep swapping around the gear 24/7. So that's why I showed you that earlier with a little transition. But his speeds are basically very similar to how it is in the full depth guide at 177. So let's get into it. Now this team, for something that's so slow and affinity friendly, and to reach a 1 key Ultra Nightmare, I think we fall just a tiny bit short by like a couple 100,000. But watch this, we're going to be extending with Vizier Ovelis, and that's going to enable the Hex debuff to stay up for the entirety of this fight. And because the Hex is up, it's going to allow him to come through with his default skill from his passive and constantly get that A1 ability out. So it's kind of a flex on ally attack, I guess, if you don't have an ally attack champion. Now, Farrakhan the Fat is a great option, right? Because he brings all allies. But this is literally every single time someone takes a turn, there's that 50-50 shot of him taking a turn, and he hits really nice. So as you see there, 140,000 damage, 128,000. And now, yeah, from here, this team's pretty much full auto. We're just going to keep extending. We've got a poison set on our Doom Priest. There's the double hitter. This team is actually really cool. You guys, if you have only one Helicath, you don't have another block damage champion, this is actually a team I think I do highly recommend. All of them are flexible. I'd say to keep it affinity friendly, you just need Doom Priest, right? To cleanse that off. But all of the champions are super slow. Like really, really slow, enabling you to up their damage stats to get max capabilities. And yeah, Vizir Ovelis is, I'd say, for highest potential in a team like this, really, really solid. And same with the counter attack. But yeah, how's he doing? I just want to see how the passive procs, so you guys can see it. So watch when somebody takes an actual turn, not from the counter procs. There we go. Passive procced. Once again. Another hit. Again, another hit. And another hit. So we had a 50-50 shot on every single ally to take another turn. And if he actually takes that all of the time, it's insane. What a crazy champion. And he's also bringing you the crucial debuffs. So he's got the drop defense to coincide with a Helicath. He's got decrease attack, which in this team, I wouldn't need it, of course. But yeah, for a traditional team, it would be solid, I guess. And then, of course, the Hex to enable him to counterattack all of the time. So what I'm going to do is I'll let you guys enjoy the run. I'll come back to you towards the end, and then we'll see how much damage he did over time. So let's get into it. So we just capped out at 70 million damage, so just short, right? But for a team that's so slow, with only one 4-3 champion in Helicath, this is actually pretty insane. But somebody please look at his damage. 31 million. 31 million. This is bonkers. It's crazy. 31 million. I think this is the highest damage I've seen in this particular team anyway that I've done on my account. Well, of course, this is a test server, but man, he can smack. He can absolutely deal some crazy damage in the Demon Lord clan boss. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I'll show you my recently used first. Let's just go into the champions. And this was the team. So if you look here, 172 speed on Skull Crusher. And then we had like 183 speed on Doom Priest. And then Helicath was the only 4-3 champion. I just had to strip one of the pieces for another showcase. But of course, all of the speeds are in the description below, as I keep mentioning. And Vizier Ovelis, also 174. And then he would have been at 177 once I did the re-gearing process. So he's a bit faster than he needed to be. So, all right, next up, Hydra boss. And this was in the Relentless build. Let me just find that run for you guys. So here we go. Now, in a team like this, I've got a Coroner for Provokes, and we've got the AoE abilities as well of Husk, and I'm just trying to bring some damage from Husk so we can compare how much damage he's doing. Now, if you think about that Hex always being up, I didn't bring in multiple champions that do it, just himself. You start to get yourself in a rhythm of always placing counterattacks and burns on heads. So let's just try to get some skills out and showcase that. So how many champions have we got with Hex right now? So we got pretty much all of them. So there we go. He's going to counterattack. Boom. Hit somebody else. Get some more Hex out. AoE attacks because we are in Relentless for this build. And there we go. More burns. Can we proc it again? We just need him to make an actual skill here. Come on. There we go. Counterattack. Burns. All right, can we get through again? Let's get an AoE. Boom. Counterattack. He's not putting on the right heads here, but obviously with the AoE attacks, it seems to be a bit random. In terms of single target, you know exactly where it's going. There we go. More burns, and it just keeps it under control. So what I did was, I pretty much came through the battle. We're doing really, really well. There we go. Still counterattacking, still trying to put the burns out on all of the heads. And came through here, 17 million. There we go. Still counterattacking. This dude is insane. And then what I did was, I kind of just kept going through. Same kind of deal. And then I ended the run here at 20-something million. Yeah, so I ended the battle. Everybody was still alive. There was no problems. And then, boom. 24 million damage is where I capped out at for the hard difficulty, just for the showcase. And if you compare the damage of like Coroner, who's always doing AoE abilities, Snick Track, who had Brimstone, and Husk with the AoE max HP abilities, he did 11 million damage out of 24 million. And for me, I think that is pretty substantial for sure. And I'd love to see what people like Nub Raids could do with a champion like Michinaki. So, yeah, guys, that is going to be all for the video. Let me know your thoughts on this champion as a whole. Would you be excited to pull him if he became a guaranteed champion? I think the second ever AoE drop defense for the Shadowkin, great for Demon Lord, great for Hydra Boss, great for progression, and an absolute tank being a defense-based champion. And I think he's phenomenal. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and peace.